Yes, welcome back to the Kop TV. Sorry for the late one, guys. I know this was scheduled in for a little bit earlier, but as you can see, we've been churning out the content tonight, both on Don Robbie's channel and this one. As Kian G says here, he was filming an AFTV Robbie watch along, but it's done now. So yes, here I am, and I have of course joined by Darren Whelan. He's here with me now. Darren, I'm going to get into the tough questions right from the off, mate. First of all,
Okay.
what Salah off after 61 minutes? And second of all, I mean, how long can this go on, this run of home defeats, bro?
Well, it's very unprecedented at the moment, isn't it? I mean, first time we lose five league games at home. Shocking. Like in the 127 or 28 years, something like that, the club has been in existence since 1892. Salah, well, look, I just listened to Klopp's interview when he said that it was the intensity and he took him off, changed things around. But before that, I'd actually seen, I don't know whether you'd seen it, he'd as asked Salah to track back and he light jog back.
Yeah,
he turned straight to Pep Linders and then they made the decision. So was it just a reactionary sub where he took him off because he was a bit pissed at him? But then I suppose it might have been a bit of a statement to say, well, look, there's no one too big. You haven't done what's been required. We don't know the message to Salah was, other than the obvious. Might have been a bit more to that. There could have been something at training that happened that he wasn't picking up or doing things, and he hasn't showed it today, particularly in the second half. But it is strange because he's the league top goal scorer. He's our top goal scorer. The record speaks volumes. He's been magnificent for us. And he was probably the only real goal threat and spark in the game, because you couldn't say the same for Bobby or Mane, which Mane I thought was terrible. Should have been Mane off in that, but it wasn't. So I don't know.
I mean, I said on the stream, I'm not sure if you were watching, but how Firmino stayed on and how Mane stayed on and Salah came off. I think Salah's got every right to be really pissed off tonight. Listen, obviously Salah didn't have a great game. We would have wanted him to score, maybe do a bit more, but for him to get taken off and for Mane and Firmino to both stay on is poor. Darren, what is going to happen now with this front three? Because it doesn't seem to matter who we play, they just can't score. And at home, especially, a place where we've been so free scoring recently, it's just unthinkable that we've now lost 5 at home in a row for the first time ever.
It's a copy and paste job. Since we drew at home to West Brom, all the home games have just been copy and paste. West Brom, Brighton, Burnley, Man City. Like Everton was the same. Tonight was the same. You knew there wasn't a goal in us unless we got a penalty. And the goal we got against City, we only scored against them because it was a penalty. You just knew it was very pedestrian. It was sideways. 85 minutes it took us to get a shot on target. And sorry, Alex, I know off the point a bit here with Salah. It's the first time he's been taken off that early in a game since I think it's September 2017 or something that was.
Wow.
So obviously, there's going to be questions asked. There's already been questions about Salah's future, so that's just going to add some fuel to that fire that's already kind of slowly starting. So what do we do? Well, what can we do other than play centre back, get Fabinho back in midfield, maybe play Origi, maybe play Jota up front, give them starts? Because let's be honest with you, if you're going through 5 games at home, you score 1 late goal, and you have changed the midfield around in those games, you've changed the defenders around. Like the front three isn't working at home for whatever reason. Is it psychological? What is it? Like, I mean, even the shot on target after 85 minutes, Genie's header, it was there was no penetration. You just knew it was no threat. You didn't get you on the edge of your seat. Like the team that we know of under Jurgen Klopp, that high intensity, that energy, that heavy press, that heavy metal football, that even as soon as we've the ball on the halfway line and we've 3 or 4 players in attacking, there might be 7 or 8 players sitting behind the ball. You're off the edge of your seat. We haven't been like that. Like I can't even remember the last time we were like that. You'd probably have to go back to the Palace away game, Spurs at home. Since we got those 2 big wins, we've just declined. And then we got 2 wins in the capital. Then we got another win here, there. Then we got a win the night where we did play well, change things around. And then to come out tonight and just turn up the way we turned up and just have no intensity, no pressure, no tempo, no energy. Very, very flat and very, very surprising. And it's just like the Anfield course strikes again. That's That's how I just sum it up. You know what I mean? Like, it was a cold night at Anfield, but we've left bitter, and it's dreadful. It really is. It's, you know,
Well,
must
you
be going
mentioned,
everyone's thinking. And then
yeah, you mentioned
sorry,
the Salah thing. It's been confirmed on Twitter. Matt Critchley says Salah not happy at being taken off. Salah was shaking his head as he walked to the bench, but 5 minutes before this, Klopp was screaming at him to track back and help out defensively.
yeah.
He was a long way off, bit of a half-hearted jog. Klopp turned to Linders almost straight up and they discussed placing him. Although he can kick and make a fuss about coming off, if you're not closing down and making a real fight of it, then you deserve to come off, no matter who you are, to be honest.
Yes, and that's why I touched on it. I think it was just a bit of a statement. I think Klopp is obviously a bit pissed. He's come out at the end of the game and says that he's told the players what he's really thought of it, and that it's better off being kept with what he said to the players. He's not going to come out in public. I mean, he must be the most frustrated person going, because the players just haven't backed him this season, have they? Like, I mean, we talk about injuries and we talk about genuine excuses and factors, but like, Jurgen Klopp, what more can he do? Okay, he probably
Yeah.
got the sub wrong and he's got things wrong this season, and he's come out, to be fair, and a lot of it he's put his hand up for. He hasn't been perfect by any means either. But if you're a player and you're out there, no matter what injuries you have or whatever, I'm just not seeing that intensity, that drive, that willingness, that wanting to close players down, that wanting to get the ball and, right, we're at home, we're champions. I'm not seeing any of that expressions. I'm seeing sideways passing, very pedestrian. It's just a lot of going backwards, just real, like,
It's just poor all over, isn't it? I mean,
playing for a 0-0. It's nearly like, yeah, it's dreadful. It really is dreadful.
Jamie says he perfectly agrees with everything you're saying. Salah to Arsenal maybe says Musin. Ha ha ha. There you go. Liverpool have returned to its normal state. I mean, the thing for me is we're so known for this pressing, high intensity team. It's almost like, one, that's completely gone now, but two, tonight it actually seemed like Chelsea were the home team. We just didn't want to do the basics. We didn't want to sprint. We didn't want to close the ball down. These are all. I mean, the amount of fucking times that we gave the ball away tonight, Darren. Jesus Christ, man.
It was dreadful.
Thiago,
I heard someone.
especially. I'm not going to lie to you. Poor tonight.
But we didn't do the basics right. We didn't defend really that good. Like, you defend as a team and attacking spirit. If you're going with that philosophy and you're fighting for every ball, protecting every player, you're winning balls for a teammate, if everyone's back, goals will come, you know what I mean? And our chances will come. And if chances come to us with how good our front three are on that day, we probably will score goals, but we're not even creating chances. Like, 85 minutes to get a shot on target, and it's a half header, it's a half chance. It was nothing, as I said, that would make you blink twice, never mind get you off the edge of your seat. It was just really, really poor. And it was like, I know the fans and that are the factor, and I get all that, but everyone's in the same boat. But it's really like watching a pre-season friendly where Liverpool are playing the game and they're trying to not get injured, and they're trying to not get worn, and they're trying to not pick up any little knock, or they're not trying to put any energy in because they're saving themselves for the season. That's what it's like. And it's not even like the lemonade without the fizz. It's just completely diluted. It's like, it's just H2O, pure, plain and simple water. There's nothing. It's honestly, the last 5 home games, as I said, it's like being a copy paste, a repeat of all them, reminisce of every game we played. It's like Anfield when we played Blackpool at the start of the season in a friendly where we were losing, we come back and won. You'd sap Fender and playing. It's just a real friendly. It's flat. It's like, we don't want to get injured, but we don't want to put too much of an effort in because we don't want to tire ourselves out for the season, and we've a long, hard season ahead because of COVID. And I'm like, I don't know, because surely if the players are turning up with any sort of attitude, they play better than that. I'm not saying the results will be better, Alex, or that will score loads of goals. But if you turn up with the right attitude, the discipline, you're turning up like half a champion. You're playing better than that. You know, you have people at home watching the games that will have something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great comment here that says, we've got to stop playing such a high line, conceding goals left, right and centre. But then this one from Jay Wright, really painful seeing Chelsea just ping the ball around us as we aimlessly chased it. The amount of times tonight, Darren, that a simple ball would just go over the top of Kabak or Fabinho's head, and they're essentially in. How many times has this happened in the last few games where a simple ball? Look at Leicester, the confusion around Alisson coming out. I mean, Alisson was almost saved another blunder tonight, which probably should have stood.
And with the communication, we
How
should have
many
stood.
times has it happened?
Well, we've seen at Sheffield United as well. They only thought Adrian was probably more at fault than Kabak, but again, the communication with the keeper and defenders, and that's obviously a training ground problem. That's again obviously touching on communication and like, well, like I don't know. I really don't know. The only thing I can see that's visible to me is his communication, and there's no one really just going for it. Like Alisson that time going back to Leicester, you go through your player if you come out to win the ball. And tonight we were very lucky because I felt Werner, that was a very, very harsh offside. To me, that wasn't offside. Again, okay, his hand was offside, but I'm a bit confused by the rules because I've seen players being more offside than that. It's went to VAR, it's took up 5 minutes of time and decisions being given. I've come out before and said decisions for us haven't went away, but I'll also come out when the opposition on fair is fair, when I feel they should have had a goal. I said it when Son scored after 3 minutes for Spurs, his goal should have stood, and I'll say it tonight, Werner's goal should have stood. Like, you had a finger or a hand or whatever offside. How can you give that in the context of play? You can't just bring in these rules. They're not robots, they're humans, and you have to have some sort of leeway that if there's a hand or an arm offside, you just have to give the decision. Like, it's all in the context of play. We've had a lot going against us this season, but I felt we were lucky tonight with that. But it wasn't going to make a difference because you felt at that stage that we needed a lot of luck in the night. We needed a penalty, a free kick, some bit of magic, and we had to really, really be on our A game at defending tonight if we were going to get 3 points or a draw over. And look, credit to Chelsea. You have to take your medicine. As I always say, the highs are nothing without the lows. We're having a lot of lows at the lately, so forgetting these days what the highs are like. But you have to give credit to Chelsea. That more likely the top four, the way it is now, is probably the way it's going to finish, and it's really disappointing because coming into today's game, Alex, I said in the preview, as bad as things have been for us this season, and as bad as the injuries and the excuses and the genuine factors and all have been against us, we had a real good chance tonight. It was like a cup final. If we win this, the confidence, the everything just goes through the roof. That we're going in to Sunday's game, which we'll probably still win, by the way, because it's Fulham, and there's going to be some sort of reaction. We have to score Sunday, surely, you know what I mean? But how many times we've been here before? I don't want to be deja vu again. And after Sunday's game, we've 10 league games left. So if we go into the top four tonight, that would have been a really good achievement. When you weigh up all the factors, the forced injury to Van Dijk, the VAR, all these decisions, when you go against them, if we win tonight and we get something Sunday, I said to you last week, you asked me, with 13 games left, I said if we get 7 points out of our next 3 games, we going in there into the last 10, we'll probably be in the top 4. Then with 10 league games left, probably in the quarterfinals of Champions League. The season, there could be something to sing home about the season. But at the moment now, it's a real kick in the teeth and the stones, because I just can't see how we're going to get it now. Every game changes, every week it's changing, I get that, but we're just not consistent enough. We're not scoring at home. We've lost 5 league games at home for the first time in the club's history. I mean, we're breaking every record for the worst this season, and last season we're breaking them for the better. It's shocking.
Disgusting. Listen, Darren, thanks for your rant. It was very much needed. Liverpool really are awful tonight. So I will leave you there, and listen, hopefully when I speak to you on Saturday afternoon against Fulham, we'll have won. Really, we're
scored even.
Right now, the headline is Darren doesn't reckon that we can get top 4 right now.
Yes, and it was cold in Liverpool, but we were left feeling bitter. See, Alex, all the best, buddy.
We'll leave it there. Take care, bro. Hey.